The little man picked up a huge match and drew a beautiful arc on the ground, and with the help of the lit flame, he successfully burned the wool, then pulled out a 2-centimeter embroidery needle and tried to bend it with his calf, but the result was ineffective. He then inserted the needle into a hole in the wall and used all his strength to break it. He then tied a piece of wool to the end of the needle, a classic version of the climbing hook. He will use this tool to climb up a 2-meter high cupboard. The little man throws it gently and vigorously, and the hook hangs smoothly on the stopper. Then he pulls on the wool and climbs, and with each floor, he continued to throw the hook and climb upwards. Soon after a year, he reached the top of the cupboard. By now, he was exhausted and at the end of his rope, but when he got up, he realized that there was still a gap in front of him that was 10 centimeters wide. But for him, it was an endless abyss. But for the sake of his food, he has to take the risk. At first, he tried to move the board to reach the other side, but the pain underneath made it very strong. So he tried to jump over with the board's bouncing force, but he had just thrown his tools across the room. Just as he was about to jump, the paint at the other end of the board suddenly came loose. The little man was so frightened that he grabbed the edge of the board. He was about to fall to his death. At the moment when the board came off completely, he jumped with all his strength and managed to catch the board and make it to the other side. Then he climbed upward along the falling wool and finally reached the bread. Then he picked up the embroidery needle and pried off a piece of bread and ate it, not forgetting to economize on food, and threw the rest of the bread down from the cupboard and packed it away. But just as it was about to return, a huge spider pounced on him. Frightened, the little man dropped the bread and ran. The big spider was right behind him, so he quickly hid in a matchbox. The spider, after circling around, couldn't open it, so it left. And what was all this about? It turns out that Jack was a normal person at first, but had an accident when he was traveling at sea. He accidentally noticed a black mist in front of him, slowly approaching him. Before he knew what was happening, the fog engulfed the entire yacht. When the fog disappeared, Jack was struck by a bright light, but he didn't care about this experience. But as time went by, he suddenly realized that his clothes that used to feed him suddenly fell apart. Not only did he lose weight, but he also became shorter. The sudden change made him realize something was wrong, so he rushed to the hospital. After a series of tests, the doctor did not find any problems, but at this time his body is still changing and now even shrunk to less than 1 meter, just like a child. Then the hospital called, claiming they had found the source of the problem. They found a radioactive molecule in Jack's body. This substance will cause his cells to grow in reverse, and there's no way they can break it with their current technology. And Jack was quickly growing smaller and smaller, so his sweet wife bought him a villa with full price. But one day, a cat suddenly broke into the house. The loud noise woke Jack up, and when they opened the door, the man was shocked by the scene in front of him. Then the cat stretched out its huge claws and scratched him like crazy. Before he could recover, the cat suddenly entered the villa. He was about to be killed by the cat, so Jack rushed out. He wanted to escape before it was caught, but the cat chased after him and scratched him. At this critical moment, Jack pulled the electric wire and then pulled down the lamp on the table. While the other party was scared away, he rushed to hide in the basement. But just as he was about to close the steel door, the cat came at him again. And so the man and the cat started a tug-of-war. Even though the man tried his best, he couldn't make up for the difference in size. Then the cat came at him. Jack was pushed off the cliff by the cat's force. Luckily, he managed to land in the groceries. But looking at the endless basement, it's obvious that he can't climb up there with his current size. So he decided to survive here for the time being. Luckily, there was a leaky hose, and a drop of water would last him a long time. Then he found a matchbox, which was perfect for sleeping in. And when he gets the bread, he realizes there's a giant spider hiding in there. Obviously, if he wanted to survive here, he had to get rid of the spider. So he grabbed his weapon and climbed up into the cupboard, then brought in a pair of scissors and tied some wool to it. Then he came to the web and shook it. Such arrogant provocation soon attracted the spider to him. Seeing the other quickly approaching his own, Jack saw the opportunity to hang the hook on its body and then quickly pushed the scissors down. However, he didn't expect the thread to accidentally get stuck in the gap, and after shaking it, it broke off. He had no choice but to pull out his embroidery needle and fight back. The two sides are too different in size, and in a short while he was pinned to the ground by the spider. At this critical moment, Jack rushed to retrieve the fallen needle and then inserted it into its aorta. and finally eliminated it completely. Although he finally killed the monster, but he accidentally realized that his body had changed again, and now he was able to pass through a hole the size of a thumb. Obviously, he would disappear from this world in a short time. Looking at the bright moon in the sky, he realized the meaning of life. Even if he was about to become a speck of dust, it must have its own significance. This is the 1957 American science fiction movie, The Incredible Shrinking Man. A man is accidentally exposed to a radioactive substance, and his body continues to shrink, eventually becoming the size of an ant. The man's wife prepared a customized villa for him. Suddenly, one day, he is discovered by a cat and almost killed by the cat. Luckily, he fell into a pile of groceries and escaped. In order to survive, he climbed up to the cupboard to eat the breadcrumbs, but he ran into a big spider, and with his ingenuity, he was able to destroy it. But his body grows smaller again, and he comes to terms with it. This story tells us that when we can't change the truth, we should try to learn to accept it. I'm BullDog Movie. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.